already know, I'm back with another podcast episode. Episode number 4. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and more stuff you'll be able to get in tune to. Episode 4. Don't get comfortable. So there's a lot of us in the world that like to get comfortable. Sometimes we want to get comfortable on jobs. We want to get comfortable with the friends that we don't supposed to be around. We want to get comfortable with procrastinating. We want to get comfortable with a lot of stuff that's not supposed to be comfortable. So check this out. So I don't like to break things up in the past, but I'm here to like speak on what happened, so it can help people in the future. So don't get comfortable to the point where it's an everyday routine, an everyday life. Check this out. I used to deal with a lot. I used to be comfortable with just being comfortable. Like, I used to get up every day. I used to be comfortable just getting up every day playing the video game, not really having the knowledge of knowing nothing. So I was too comfortable to know anything that was going on around me. So, alright. I'm going to use three topics of don't be comfortable. Please do not get comfortable. You cannot get comfortable. Please. I'm telling you guys, look, seriously. This podcast is serious, but we can play and have fun at the same time. But it's a time to stop and be serious. So check this out. Don't get comfortable. What happened to me? I was around family members, trying to fit in. And I was allowing them to verbally abuse me. Like, I got too comfortable with letting them verbally abuse me. Like, I'd be around them, we'll be having a good time for them to be around, Sometimes, you be in the moment and you don't really think about it till you get older to think about stuff. Until you get by yourself, you think about stuff that's like real deep. Like, stuff get real deep when you get by yourself and start thinking. So I used to let people sit around and like, man, you too blind, you can't see. Like, that's verbally abuse. And I never really thought about the verbally abuse thing. Like, I was allowing this to happen. But I'm not using this for an excuse, but at the age I was young and still dealing with it now. I should have been able to, counter some of that stuff and just brush it off and not allow it to happen. As soon as people be like, yeah, hey, I gotta get through it. It's alright. Yeah, I can't see. It's alright. Yeah, cool. I used to laugh with them, knowing I'm verbally abusing myself too. I'm mentally draining myself. I used to allow my family and my friends. I used to allow my own family to let people talk about me, not be able to see, because I had a cleft lip, and I allowed people to call me twisted lip. I remember that. I allowed people to call me effed up lip. I allowed people to call me a geek monster. I allowed people to call me so many names, knowing it's verbally, at that time it is hurting, but it's verbally abuse, like dealing with it and not saying nothing. I'm allowing people to verbally abuse me mentally, and I'm not saying nothing. Excuse me, I forgot I didn't turn the heater on, and I'm kind of chilled right now while I'm talking. But yeah, I allowed people to just verbally abuse me, just say what they want to, and it felt like I couldn't do anything about it because it felt like I was in that season of my life that I couldn't do nothing. And then if I react, I feel like I'll lose somebody. Don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable. People call me blind man, one eye, anything you probably think of. People don't probably say it to me already. So I just sit around and laugh, like my own family, my cousins, my, relatives. Every time I try to do something, when we one-on-one, they don't mention you can't see or boy you blind. But when they get around a group of people, that's when they want to, outlash with the blind jokes. I mean, jokes are alright, but words are powerful, and you don't know what their purpose. You don't know what I think when I leave. When I leave that environment and go home alone, to sit down alone and think about things, stuff like that pop up, and people don't think about it. That's why I don't pick on people with sickle cell, AIDS, none of that. I ain't finna make fun of nobody. Nobody, man. I got too comfortable talking about people in my school. I can't put no names in here, but you do know who you are when I say this. It's a person that had CP in school. Please forgive me for allowing my verbal abuse to verbal abuse you. Forgive me for playing with you the wrong way. That's really, mentally, damaging you. I was calling him one hand, twisted hand, limp. I was making limps like him, and boom, years later, it don't come then and there. It can come years later, or it can skip you and go to your relative. Man, I sat around and talked about this man to be funny. Now my pinky damaged. It looked the same way his hand would have back then. I was on that motorcycle accident. And then the motorcycle accident damaged my foot. And I be having a problem with my... Excuse me. I meant to turn the heater on, but I can't turn the heater on during the podcast because you'll hear everything in the background. This one's so shaky right now. I do have sickle cell. So, please excuse my shiver chatter conversation like this. But that happening to me, it more stuff opened my eyes. When I peek at people, when I used to do stupid stuff. Well, I don't want to call it stupid. I made irrational mistakes. What I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have been around, I got too comfortable. That's why I said don't get comfortable. I got too comfortable trying to be something that other people were doing. My so-called friends was making fun of other people. So I felt to keep my friends around to get me, in a position to be where they at, to be cool. I should go around being comfortable abusing other people verbally, mentally, physically, emotionally. So that's not cool. That's not cool at all. Because you gonna have a loved one that comes. One of your kids gonna have to come to you one day. One of your brothers and sisters, your cousins, your aunties, your uncles, your granddaddy, grandmama, whoever, gonna have to talk to you about their situations, or come to you with somebody, doing the same thing to them. Hey, remember, you gotta get old. You gotta get old. There's gonna be some young people out there getting coming at you, and history repeats itself. You gotta understand that whatever you put out in this. The tongue is powerful. Read the Bible. The Bible said Proverbs. Read Proverbs. In other places in the Bible, it talks about it. The tongue lies in the, death and life lies in the tongue. So you gotta be aware. Don't get comfortable. Number 2. I was in school and I allowed this. Again, verbally abusing me. My so-called friends, when they get around teachers, when teachers be like, yeah, I'm not all the way there. They'll say you're not all the way there. They'll say you got loose screws. They'll say, so many words to say that I'm slow, but I'm not. They use so many words to mentally, verbally, abuse me. The conversation was they so smooth. They smoothed it in. The conversations, they got too comfortable with being around me, and I got too comfortable with being around them to allow stuff like that to happen. So when my so-called friends in the classroom, when the teacher's like, "Yeah, you slow, yeah, and you're not there, man, you're not about there. You about slow, you about, yeah." My friends agreed with the teacher, and I sat there and got comfortable and let that happen. I allowed that to happen. I'm not putting no names in here. I'm not no pointing fingers at nobody. I'm just saying, do not get comfortable with the mistakes I was making as myself to allow stuff like that to happen. Do not blame my teacher. Man, look, I ain't trying to blame nobody, but I made mistakes by allowing that comfortable to happen. I guess I was in a position where my mind, like, it's alright, just let it happen. It's just there. They my teachers. I just gotta accept what they doing. But at the same time, this is my season, and at the time that's supposed to be my season to be like, hold on, look, check this out. Don't talk to me like that. But I got too comfortable. They got too comfortable with me. I got too comfortable with them, allowing them to talk that way. And then my friends just sit around agreeing with them, talking the same way they were, like, whatever they say. Then my friends would be like, yeah, man, yeah, you about loose screws, and you're not about all the way there. And they make fun, but when they by themselves one-on-one, they got sense. So I'm just saying, you can't just sit around and let people talk to you in the kind of way, because, we all are human at the end of the day. We're not better than the next person. We all put on the same pants every day, the same pants the same way. Sometimes everything must go up, so that's why they say start from the bottom, then come up. So you gotta start down by your legs, so you gotta slowly come up. So sometimes, in your season, you might not move faster than the next person, but sooner you're gonna be up where they at. So nobody cannot knock you down from what you're supposed to be billed as. That's why I used to sit around and try to be what I want to, be, because I felt the only way to fit in was to do what my friends was doing, allow my teachers to verbally abuse me, allow other people to verbally abuse me, and mentally break me down. At the same time, I was in a position where my mind was stuck in this little bubble to allow it to happen in order to keep somebody around. I felt like I had to have somebody around. So don't get comfortable. DGC, do not get comfortable. No matter what the situation is, no matter who the person is. If you want to get comfortable with God. That's the best thing I tell you, the best comfortable thing. And let Jesus in and the Holy Spirit in. That's the best thing to deal with right now, to get comfortable. Because, check this out. I had to make sure my podcast is still recording. That's why if you hear a little pause, I looked over there. I'm visually impaired, so I can't